As we move into summer, July marks Impaired Driving Awareness Month. Each year in Canada, thousands of people are negatively impacted by impaired driving, whether they are victims or family members of victims that are negatively impacted. In the past 3 years, we've seen impaired driving charges in Calgary double, from just under 500 to just over 1,000 year to date this year. It is important to remember, whether you choose to imbibe in drugs or alcohol, that never is mixed with driving. The key to doing this safely is to have a plan in advance. Don't decide how you're going to get home after you're impaired, but before you become impaired. It makes common sense that once we've had drugs or alcohol in our system, we make poorer choices at that point in time. Make those choices in advance. Make sure that you arrive home safely, that everyone else arrives home safely on the road. With the impact of APIS or Bill 21, with the immediate roadside sanctions, it's easier than ever for our officers to quickly process impaired drivers. So the process is simpler, it's quicker, and it's easier. We're also seeing a bit of an uptick for drivers in general from COVID times. In 2021, we were just starting to come out of COVID, and now we see more. But also with the advent of certain drugs becoming legal, we are seeing more of those drugs involved in impaired driving cases. We're also able to catch more impaired drivers via drugs, which we were unable to easily process on the side of the road before. With technology and training that our members have as drug recognition experts, we've actually seen the number of drug-impaired drivers being charged double in that same part of time as well. With our officers, if they stop you, they will detect your drugs in your system and they will be charging you with impaired driving. If you get stopped at a check stop, unlike in the past where often they would ask you if you were going to have something to drink, they are going to take a test from you roadside under the mandatory alcohol screening. So whether or not you've admitted to take, ingesting alcohol or drugs, they will be putting you on a roadside screening device. So they'll ask you to provide a sample at that. It is mandatory to provide that sample. If it's all clean, they'll be thanking you very much for driving sober and sending you on your way. And often we'll be doing these in conjunction with our partners with Mothers Against Drug Driving, MAD here in Calgary as well. And they'll also have positive messaging for those that are sober. Obviously, if you fail, you'll be immediately dealt with through immediate roadside sanctions, which would involve suspension of your driver's license and seizure of your motor vehicle. There's no excuse nowadays for not having an alternative way home, right? We've seen more options than we've ever seen before, certainly more than when I saw when I was a youth. Obviously, you can have designated drivers, alternate drivers like Keys Please or one of those type of options, as well as ride shares. Walking or just staying at where you are, right? Stay over the night, find an alternative way home in advance.